Welcome to the Rogers Center. This is Blue Jays Central. I'm Jamie Campbell. We begin with devastatingly sad news. First base coach Mark Budzinski has left the team following the death of his 17-year-old daughter, Julia. Earlier today, the team released this statement. It is with deep sadness the Toronto Blue Jays mourn the loss of Julia Budzinski, eldest daughter of first base coach Mark Budzinski, and his wife Monica. Said GM Ross Atkins, the Budzinskis have been part of our Blue Jays family over the last 4 seasons. This devastating loss is felt by our entire organization, and we grieve alongside Bud and his family. Our thoughts and prayers are with Mark and Monica and their children Josh and Lily at this time. This game takes a toll on family. Those involved spend weeks and sometimes months away from family. This morning on my way to the ballpark, I dropped my youngest son at his mother's house, and I turned to him and said, "You know why I say I love you every day?" And he said, "Why, Dad?" And I said, "Because I might not be here to say it tomorrow." So to Mark, Monica, Josh, and Lily, we love you. Everyone on this broadcast crew wishes they could wrap their arms around you at this most difficult time.
None of Ross's pitches are overpowering, but he's got 5 of them, so he can mix it up a little bit more easily than a lot of other guys. It's strike 3 called, the throw down, and they got him.
And an easy strike him out, throw him out.
Got him to chase a changeup. 10 in the air to left center field, long run, Tapia! Wow, says Ross Stripling, and he's not the only one.
Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball. Oh, I love that start right there by Ross Stripling.
So here's the meeting on the mound for the ball game today. A homestand comes to an end. Shane Baz on the hill for Tampa Bay came off the IL in early June because of off-season elbow surgery. He was one of the players acquired from Pittsburgh in the Chris Archer deal. And Ross Stripling gets the nod for the Blue Jays. He started 5 games in June. The Blue Jays won 4 of them, and he didn't make it through 5 innings in only 1, and that was a loss to the Yankees. You can see from the perspective of earned run average how effective he's been since moving into that starter's role, vacated by the injured Hyunjin Ryu. And let's address this with Caleb, because you would know that even a veteran like Stripling has to adapt and change over the course of a lengthy major league career, and he's done just that. Explain.
Yeah, he keeps reinventing himself, and this time it's with the fastball. It's really his ability to get that 4-seam fastball to the very top of the zone to really create some room for error with the off-speed stuff. You can see the 2-seam has been a pitch that he has really picked up, especially in the month of June, only throwing it almost 16% of the time, but the opposing average is devastating. And what it does is it really pushes those right-handed hitters off the plate. He's got a triangular approach in that he can throw that fastball at the top, devastating sinker right there, the slider off of that, the changeup tunneling off that 2-seamer. For me, it's really been the ability to get that 2-seam in on the plate. There's the 4-seam that gets to the top of the zone. Here's another 2-seam that just ties up Torres. And what it does, when you can make a hitter feel that uncomfortableness in the inner part of the plate, it starts to open up that slider away. He's going to want to get guys out with the changeup, with the slider, and by using the 4-seam at the top, it forces those hitters to not only look up, they've got to look down. The 2-seamer runs in, now they have to look in, and then the slider away, they've got to look out. He's covering all quadrants, and when a pitcher's able to do that, it is very tough to have a game plan against him. The usage of the 4-seam, the kind of invention of this 2-seam runner here in the month of June has really worked out well for Ross Stripling. Look for him to continue that today against the Tampa Bay Rays.
And Caleb, we were reminded yesterday that starting pitching is a very valuable commodity. To address today's end of a homestand, let's take you to the field where we find Hazel May and Arden Zwelling.
Jamie and Caleb, thank you very much. Yes, Ross Stripling set to make the start in Game 5 of 5 against the Tampa Bay Rays. Stripling told me he felt really good about going into his start this afternoon. Obviously, he'd like to go deeper into ball games. He said, quote, "That would be a confidence booster for me." So we will keep an eye on that. You know what would be a big boost for the Blue Jays, Arden Zwelling, would be having Kevin Gausman make his next start. That is still a big question mark. You and I saw him walk gingerly about the clubhouse. He was generally in very good spirits. He continues to get treatment to keep the swelling down, Arden, but what's he doing between now and a possible next start?
Continuing to get that treatment because he is still very sore and stiff, understandably, but he's quite relieved that the x-rays came back negative. You know, when Kevin Gausman first took this 100-mile-an-hour liner off the right ankle, he thought he'd shattered his ankle. He said that the pain shot through his entire body. He couldn't stop shaking. He said he was freaking out in the moment. He walked off under his own power, which is something that, looking back on it, he says, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done. But he also believes that because he was wearing high-top sneakers, that actually saved him. He's got a little bit of padding around the ankle on those sneakers they just so happened to be wearing during that outing, so he thinks that's the only thing that saved him from breaking his ankle. Now the question going forward, Hazel, is whether he's going to make that next start, and there is some worry about this cross-continent flight that he's going to have to get on tonight, heading out to the West Coast for a 7-day road trip without an off day built in. So the Blue Jays are going to see how he's feeling after that flight. He's going to have to be up and moving around. He can't just recline the seat and catch a nap. He's going to be receiving treatment during that flight, and depending on how he feels when the Blue Jays land in Oakland and into tomorrow, there will be a decision made about Kevin Gausman's next start, which is scheduled for Thursday. But as things stand right now, it's definitely up in the air.
We wish him well. We wish him continued success in those treatments. He says he is feeling as well as can be expected. You and I talked about Casey Lawrence and what a terrific job he did in the longest relief outing of his career, filling in there for Kevin Gausman. We also saw Thomas Hatch yesterday start in Game 2 of the split doubleheader. Having Lawrence and Hatch start those two games, Arden, really kind of exposed the Blue Jays' lack of starting depth.
Well, and that's the next layer in this rotation beyond the 5 that are in there right now. The Ross Stripling card has been played. He's going to start here today. So you see Casey Lawrence coming in behind Kevin Gausman, and full credit to him, he gave the Blue Jays 5 2/3 innings that they desperately needed, but he also gave up 5 runs. And then Thomas Hatch comes in, starts the nightcap of the doubleheader. He gives up 10. So this is who the Blue Jays will be relying upon if they need depth starters. If Kevin Gausman has to miss that start on Thursday, they'd be looking at names like Lawrence, like Hatch, like Max Castillo, who was optioned this week. He's looked really good in brief appearances. Basil, he's still very untested at the major league level, very unproven, so you are taking a leap of faith there. That's why the Blue Jays need to find some depth starters ahead of MLB's trade deadline. This has to be an area where they're looking to add. It doesn't have to be the Luis Castillos. It doesn't have to be somebody who's going to carry your rotation, but it does have to be somewhat similar to the 2020 trade deadline. When the Blue Jays went out, they found Robbie Ray, Taijuan Walker, and Stripling himself. 3 guys who are coming off of pretty rough starts to their seasons, but were able to give you innings and were able to fill those back end of the rotation slots. That's what the Blue Jays need to be targeting ahead of the trade deadline, because right now there is a lack of depth there.
Thomas Hatch has been optioned back down to AAA Buffalo, and the Blue Jays have reinstated Trevor Richards off the IL from that neck strain. What are you seeing as far as how the bullpen now shapes out or plays out from here on in?
Well, the Blue Jays are trying to paper over a bit of a deficiency there as well, and Trevor Richards will help coming off the IL. He threw that rehab outing with Buffalo. He's feeling strong, but he had fallen out of the trust tree somewhat when it comes to leverage prior to going on the IL, so we'll see where he's at. Obviously, Sergio Romo has come in 2 strong, scoreless outings to this point in his Blue Jays career. They have to be happy about that. They also made the trade for Anthony Bonda yesterday from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is DFA'd earlier in the week. Lefty, throws mid-90s. He has a changeup that he uses a lot. He'll likely join the Blue Jays this week in Oakland on the West Coast trip, so he will add some more reinforcements to this bullpen, but these are not impact reinforcements. reinforcements. This is not the swing and miss, high velo stuff that the Blue Jays need at the back end of that bullpen to help set up for Jordan Romano. You can make additions like that closer to the trade deadline, but clubs with arms like that who are looking to move them are going to hold on to as close to the deadline as possible to try to create a bigger market, to try to get some more bidders in there. So the Blue Jays will be active at that point as we get closer to August 2nd. They'll be looking for those arms, but right now they're going to rely on guys like Romo, like Richards, and like Bonda to try to get them through this tough stretch when the schedule is doing them no favors.
Okay, we will look forward to today's ball game as Ross Stripling gets the start here on a beautiful afternoon at Rogers Center. It is game 5 of 5 against the Tampa Bay Rays, guys.
And Hazel, the Blue Jays are currently enjoying a 4-3 homestand. This the last game before they head west. What a day for baseball. We'll be back right after this.